And welcome to Hunter Stadium, round 26. Newcastle and Parramatta. A massive crowd here on a beautiful day in spring. And of course, Newcastle can't be put out of the top 8. They can advance to 7th by beating Parramatta. They meet either Cronulla or Canterbury in an elimination semi-final coming up Saturday or Sunday. And here's the Parramatta side led up by their captain. It's been a dreadful year for them. And they'll be hoping that perhaps they can erase some of those memories with a victory here against the home team. There have been some changes at the Parramatta side, and the big news is that Jared Hayne is back. The Ultra Tune team cards are there. 23 Jared Hayne will play at fullback. CO goes into the centres, as you can see. So in all, they've lost 3 players. Allgood's out, Morgan's out, Ben Roberts is out. And you'll see on the bench that a young fella is getting a crack at them here this afternoon. And there's the man that could change their fortunes. Ken Edwards and Joe Willesee will be on the bench for Parramatta. And they're being cheered by the 150 old boys. Some of them not so old, of course, but the club's been here since 1988 in its current form, but was in fact the foundation club. And then came back at 88. And they're in the top 8. For Ultra Tune, there's only the one change here. David Alonga comes in for Zane Tetavano, and that means Matt Hilda goes onto the bench as we look at the team cards for Ultra Tune. And there's Denny Badira's game number 254. A wonderful, wonderful player, a fantastic product of the mid-north coast of New South Wales, originally from Taree, and has spent his entire career here, serving not just Newcastle, but New South Wales and Australia. And it will be a sad day when he eventually hangs up the boots at some stage over the next month. Well, everything's okay to go, except no one's got a football. So one of the ball boys has been beckoned from the eastern side, and back it comes. So Parramatta to kick off, Newcastle to receive. And Joseph Paulo, who starts, will look after proceedings. So to Paulo it goes, and immediately they bring the ball back through Big Willie after getting the pass from Tyrone Roberts. And he's put down 11 metres out. Badira will go the blind side. Bo Scott with it there. A little bit of a push and a shove. Joined in commentary by Immortal Andrew Johns, Brad Fittler's on the touchline, and Phil Goulds in the broadcast box. Willie has his second go this 6 on the 50s tackle. That's the halfway line that he's about to play it on. Now, Jared Mullen came up with a low trajectory one, which via Totai went back for. Daniel Harrison looks like he's playing out here at right centre. That's him with the ball now, Daniel. Keating back away to Pat O'Hanlon. Back the other side, Manna. Oh, hit by Mason, who dropped away, and then Badira's completed the tackle. 5 short of halfway. That's Lussick. He's popped it out the back. Hayne got it quickly away. Harrison. The wingers stumbled. McManus. Harrison's trying to get it back on the inside, but oh, look at Badira's in game number 254 with a magnificent covering tackle. Beautiful stuff, Badira's, after a half break by Parramatta. Kelly with a high kick. Oh, beautifully taken, running backwards by the fullback Darius Boyd, who'll race back, and they're going to play on immediately when he's tackled by Fui. You heard the whistle in the background to signify that they were okay. Dane Gagai goes from acting half.
Well, that was just class there from Darius Boyd, wasn't it? Difficult take, had the uprights and The swirling breeze took it and raced out and made 30 metres for his team. Brilliant stuff.
Holden Cup score comes up. Knights over the Eels. It's been a bad season for both sides, but the Knights finished with a win 46-18 over Parramatta. They're both on 20 points going into that game. I think the Knights had come on the end of a 4-game losing streak. Boyd. Lua. Great pass, McManus. He'll come back on the inside, surely, and score. Falls over. Hayne took the steam off him. They cover up. Half a metre out from the goal line. Keating got to him in the end. 5th tackle. Mullen kicks, goes too deep, plucked in the field of play by the wing three-quarter, Rundra, who then tackled. As a result, a goal line dropout. Well, I'm still trying to figure out, Gus, Andrew, how he didn't score.
Well, it was good work by Jared Hayne. I mean, a late inclusion in this game today, and you're probably thinking that Jared Hayne could set up some points. Well, he saved a try here. Lovely work by Leilua. McManus gets back on the inside, but he just gets enough of him to take the steam off him. And coming back in cover defence, Matt Keating wrapped up the tackle. Good start by the Knights, and they didn't panic on tackle 5 there, forced the line drop out. They'll come back again. Have a look at the crowd, Ray. They absolutely love their Sunday football up here at Newcastle.
I've been waiting for it, Gus.
Look out.
Penalty, mandatory penalty, right in front of the post. It's taking 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Joey, to tell us that in Newcastle, they love their Sunday afternoon football.
They sure do. I can't believe that. Kick out on the full.
Wait for it.
Have a look at the rest of the season, Joey. That typifies it. We'll go to Brad and welcome him. Now, that's the number 17, David Alongo. He's only 2 metres out. Badiris back on the inside of Willie. He's almost there. Did he get it down? No. He'll play it quickly, and he's pushed by Mena. Badiris again. Dummy through, over try. Tyrone Roberts pirouetted away from 2, came to the fullback, spun away from him, and Newcastle lead 4-0, and there's a kick to come.
Yeah, great work there by Tyrone Roberts. Sure, Ricky Stewart's tip sheet this week going into the Knights game. No dummies off Tyrone Roberts. Possesses the best dummy in the game. Great show and go here. Slices through. There's a bit of a worry for Jared Hayne here. There might be a collision. Tyrone Roberts hits and spins close to the line. He was a dropout. That's unforgivable. How you don't find the ground with a drop punt. And there he is, slices through it. The hit and spin on Hayne. Maybe a collision there in the Great Wall replay, but the show and go, it's on all the time. Tyrone Roberts. That's just really poor defence there.
Well, it's not as though the dummy really fooled them, Andrew, did it? It was still soft defence. Both defenders got their hands on him, and then he was able to spin and go through. The kicking out on the full from the line dropout, when you think about it, you're standing there under the post. You've got 110 metres of field in front of you. What is it, 67 metres wide, and you can't hit the target.
That try was set up from the previous shift where the centre, Leilua, got it on the outside of Daniel Harrison. Harrison was worried about his speed. He was angling out. That's why Roberts went straight through.
Here's Tyrone to convert the try he scored. You've got a great view of it. Back to the family hills. Back it absolutely magnificently. Straight between the uprights it is, and 6-0 they lead. And Brad Fittler, he's on the touchline. Freddie.
Yeah, what we're going to do for the first cross of the day, we're going to send it over to Denny Badiris. Hey, Denny, how's the weather? Need a little southeaster blowing, which should assist Jared Mullen's left foot. It's great that all the fans turn out today. It looks like there'll be 25,000. Apart from that, as long as Willie doesn't score, that'll make it no tries for the year. And I look forward to Mad Monday to see Big Willie.
Thanks, Denny.
Oh, Willie was listening. Freddie hasn't had his medication.
Listen, don't you start slinging off.
It's a great day here at Hunter Stadium.
Well, it is a Sunday, Brad, and that's going to be that'll be on your epitaph. You know when Spike Milligan said, "I told you I was crook"?
Yeah.
Yours will be, "I love Sunday afternoon football."
It'll be on the tombstone.
Exactly.
Tim, you right?
But you know what, Gus? You're right.
Crook here.
It's Tim Menner, I think. He's had a little collision.
Sure? Yeah.
Must have been in that exchange when they kicked off and he came in to make the tackle, I'd imagine. He's just been rattled up a bit.
Yeah, he's a bit tender between the legs there, I think. He's caught one in a nasty spot.
But Gus, I'm of that ilk going back to the 80s when I started doing this, and I do love Sunday afternoons, and we did go away from it for a long while. I'm glad we're back to it.
Oh, sun's shining. People are out. You smell the smoke smell of the hot dogs. It's just footy weather.
Fui after Keating had taken the ball from close to the scrum. That's Keating again. Darcy Lussick. 5 metres out from the line. Parramatta trying to strike back. Keating out the back. Kelly, dummies. And went straight past Jared Hayne. Half volley back on the inside. That'll be Seo, who's playing at left centre, the winger. So Ken Seo's got it. He was taken by Jared Mullen. Kelly again in centre field. And, oh, man, gee whiz, was that Willie? Oh, he lined him up and took him. Mason. And Mena's down again on the haunches. He's crook. Here's Kelly with the ball out the back. Hayne through. Bounces away from him. Eventually taken by the centre three-quarter Leilua. Back to Kelly. Kicks in behind him. The ball pops up there. It's in a shoulder charge from the player coming through Paulo. But they're saying it came off Parramatta. By the way, I was educated before the game.
Off your body.
Joseph Paulo starts. Junior Paulo's on the bench. They're not related, despite the fact that there is a Junior Paulo that formerly played the NRL, but he's not related to Joseph. They're not related to these two.
No.
What would be the odds of that happening? Two blokes called Joseph, or three of them. Two of them brothers, and they're not playing together.
I think there's thousands of them, Ray. I don't think there's two of them.
He's like, I've cloned them somewhere. Here's the ball. Roberts away on the outside of the centre. Gagai, he's taken out wide. 30 metres out and 6 metres in from touch. Uata. Skipping. Had that terrible mistake last week against Brisbane, but came back in the second half and redeemed himself. Tyrone Roberts out the back. Oh, Darius Boyd, catch pass. What a great try to the centre three-quarter. Joseph Leilua. Just too good. The referee will point to the spot. He does so now, and the Knights lead by 10-0.
This is a beautiful pass from the halfback here, Tyrone Roberts, but the damage was done on the play before. Quilly Uate snaking cross field. He got Daniel Harrison at marker as centre. But on the great ball replay, it was Tyrone Roberts the way he straightened the play, frees up Darius Boyd on the outside, that created that try. So he creates the 3-on-1 on the outside. But really poor defence from Parramatta. The Knights could really put a score on today.
Well, they look determined, don't they? And Willie Mason is setting the tone here with his charges and his tackles. He's obviously out for a big first stint here to discourage Parramatta. And he's got his team on the front foot. That play out the back to Darius Boyd was the pet play of the Dragons. When Darius Boyd and Wayne Bennett were at the Dragons, it's been the pet play at Newcastle ever since he came here to coach. They don't get it right all the time, but what they do is they persist with it. They'll do it 20, 30 times a game, hoping for a couple of good results.
Well, it was the run from Uate who snaked across field. He drew Daniel Harrison in field. He made the tackle on Uate. So when the Parramatta Eels adjusted, I think you'll find that Darcy Lussick, he was defending at centre. He had no idea whether to come in or stay out.
Well, here's a kick from the halfback Tyrone Roberts, who was involved again, scored the first one, involved in the second. And this is on the touchline, western side. Strikes it beautifully. It's coming back around, and this is absolutely magnificent again, and they lead by 12-0. Joseph Paulo again, kicking off. Well, Ricky Stewart's got a fairly, Willie Mason rampages up the centre, got a fairly significant decision to make in the next fortnight. He'll be the subject of a large offer from the Canberra Raiders. He's got a get-out clause in his contract with Parramatta. He's never coached a side to a wooden spoon before, and this may push him one way or the other, depending on what happens and evolves over the next 70 minutes or so. Smith, Medeiros, Bo Scott.
We'll talk about the Ricky Stewart situation a little bit later in the game. He's got a moral dilemma there, hasn't he? That he's got to come to terms with. He's a man he would have liked to have had on the field all year, Jared Hayne. He's missed a fair bit of time with injury this year. And when you're down at this level of the competition ladder, you need your best players on the field. It makes it very difficult without them.
That's the winger, semi-run-rundra. There have been a few variations of it, but I've checked with our Fijian experts who tell me the A becomes a U and run-rundra is how you say it. The same bloke told me his name was Gillette too about 3 years ago. Kick downfield from outside, is it? Inside the 40?
Yeah, 40-20 from Matt Keating.
And there's high fives and Joey's exactly right.
That's a brilliant kick. He jumps out to his right to kick back to his left, and Darius Boyd, I mean, you're talking about a very experienced fullback. He totally had him wrong foot. It comes out to the right, hooks it back to the left, gets a little bit of left-hand side on it, and the leg break sends it towards the sideline, and Darius Boyd just said, too good. He said, I can't compete with that. And that puts Parramatta right on the attack. Nice kick from Keating.
They needed it. They're down 12-0, as you can see, after 12 and three-quarter minutes.
Well, this is where they need Jared Hayne. Just needs his hands on the ball as much as possible.
That's Keating, Fui first receiver at the defence. There's Willie Mason defending. And Badiris, as always. Keating, Mena, who's recovered from that knock. Bounced away from Willie. Badiris again, second tackle in a row. Kelly steps back on the inside. That's the man, Jared Hayne, with it. And that was Badiris with his third consecutive tackle. A try saver. Then the other way they go. Darcy Lussick was with it. He's put down. 5 out from the goal line. And Badiris had a little chop at him, but the other damage was done by 2 other players. Paulo. Kelly to the line, out the back, Jared Hayne. Great pass out wide, it's going to be put into touch, unfortunately, by the wing three-quarter by Totai. The pass was good, it got on the outside of the defender that was immediately inside of him, but the winger stayed out and made the tackle and put him into touch, and I think it may well have been McManus. And there it is there, it was McManus, and the foot goes on the line. The ball's lost anyway. This year's NRL Final Series begins Friday night, as you know. Entertain your clients or spoil yourself in style with an official VIP package from 9 Live. Don't miss out on securing your seat to this year's Final Series matches, including the NRL Grand Final Day. Call 9 Live today on 1300 645 229 or the website 9-live.com.au. One, of course, by Newcastle, the scrum. Gagai with it, playing it right centre. Joey, that's when Badiris is really an important player to this team. He made 3 consecutive tackles. He was involved in the 4th when it was desperation stakes.
Well, he cleans up. He cleans the big guys' defensive errors up, but he also controls the defensive line. Now, you have your ball players in attack, the likes of Mullen and Tyrone Roberts, but in defence, he controls everything to ruck and he organises the big men.
Now they have the ball. Newcastle outside their own 40. And that's the fullback, Darius Boyd, you can see, as that number 1 came out of the tackle. 5th tackle, left foot kick, Jared Mullen. That's straight downfield. Now Jared Hayne covered a lot of ground to get it and gave it to by Totai. He's back into the defence and taken by the lock forward, the number 13, Jeremy Smith. Number 17 was there, David Alongo. Rundra now, up to the 30. That's the line he's on right now, 15 and a half gone. Lussick playing on this right-hand side. Keating will go that way again to Fui. Oh! Leilua came out of the tackle. There was an appeal from Keating, but no harm done to Fui, who's up. Men are into them.
Leilua doesn't mind a crash tackle. His eyes lit up there when he saw Fui coming down the short side.
Low trajectory one from Kelly will find touch inside the 10. The scrum will pack down 10 out.
You talk about Danny Badiris, and I had the good fortune or privilege to speak at his retirement luncheon many years ago. Of course, he made a comeback since then, but so it was wasted, the speech. But he...
Hang on a second.
There's
never a speech by you being wasted.
That's when he was going to England.
Yeah, and I come up and gave him a nice retirement speech, and he's back playing again. We've got to do it all again. But at the time, I remember doing the stats on him, and it was something like he'd had about 3,000 runs for, so many metres, 30,000 metres, and he'd had 10,000 tackles and all these sorts of things. But that is only a fraction of what he does for his team. That is the things that you can quantify with statistics. It doesn't show what he does off the ball. It doesn't show the spirit with which he plays or how hard he goes in on bigger men. That's why he's one of the most respected players that's ever played the game. And it's nice that he's come back to Newcastle and he finishes his career playing in a finals team, and he finishes his last game playing in front of the home crowd. It's a wasted retirement speech, I know. But
just a message for those players on the verge of retirement who've had an involvement with Phil at New South Wales Origin level. Just make sure he don't come back at some time in the future. He likes to make one speech and have one crack at it, and that's it. Now they found touch from the penalty from offside in the scrum.
I'm glad you didn't coach John Farman.
The final farewell tour as they come out the back. The Knights just over halfway. Badiris.
Well, if Badiris makes another comeback, I'm not going to wrap him next time.
Tyrone Roberts skipping, dancing, dummy. And there he is, Denny, from acting half. Mullen, little kick, run under a drop back for it. He'll cover it up in goal, almost. But it's gone dead anyway.
Well, it took him 3 goes to cover it up. I'm not sure he needed to play it the first time, but he got himself in a little bit of a pickle there. And it can happen. The ball's bouncing. You're not sure what it's going to do. You can hear the footsteps coming. He had plenty of time there to just let that roll another couple of times.
I think he might have been hearing Quilly Uarte coming.
Well, he knows he's there.
Some matchup.
Yeah.
Now let's see what happens with Kelly in the goal line drop out this time.
Go, Luke.
To go down the centre. It does. Travels about 41 metres. Bounces up nicely for Tyrone Roberts. And back they come again through Farlongo, and he's put down 38 metres out centre field by Darcy Lussick and John Manor. .23 metres out. Badiris. Dummies through. Fui got hold of him and dragged him down. Dummies, Mullen, Fui again. With Joseph Paulo. He might have copped one there.
Well, he's hurt himself here. He's holding an ankle, and he did fall awkwardly. And Newcastle fans will be holding their breath at the moment on the eve of the finals. You won't want anything serious happening to an ankle.
Here he
He
is.
sort of half did the splits. There it is. It's just come down on the outside of his ankle there and given it a twist. And he'll want this check before he gets up, I think. But he didn't like it at all. Let's hope he's okay. Doesn't seem in too much stress. I think it's just probably scared him a little bit. He wanted to get it checked before he put any weight on it. Players are very, very conscious of their injuries these days. They understand their body pretty well.
Danny, tackle 4. Thanks, Robert.
So Ben Cummins tells
Just wait till he plays it,
Denny
guys.
Badiris we've got tackle 4. As his captain
Just wait
gets up
there.
and plays it.
Tackle 4. Go.
Boyd. Taken by Kelly, then got away from him. There's a collision in back play between Harrison and one of the Newcastle players who's very, very groggy. They've gone from acting half. Badiris over the top. It's there for McManus. That'll be a try. Brilliant play by Denny Badiris. He was tackled, threw it over the top. They want to have a look. I'm not quite sure why.
That's the last. We have a try. Check the grounding, please.
Just checking the grounding. He looked like he was going to score here, Danny. He was swiveling and turning to put the ball down, and then at the last moment thought, I can't get it there. So he's flung a pass over the top very cleverly. And despite the awkward bounce, it would appear as though McManus has got this down, has he? Yep, no problem.
Just bobbled it a little bit there as he put it down. Probably need a look at the head on.
You're calling a bobble, are you?
Oh,
That's
no.
That's all right.
The hand dropped off at the right hand.
He's worried about the somersault.
That's all right.
Yeah. He scored. He's given a try. They won't take it off him. They won't take it off him. Mind you, if he said no try, they wouldn't have been giving it to him, I don't think. It's a try. 16-0. Parramatta, like the boy with the wheelbarrow, they have the job in front of them with a kick to come from the touchline, and Tyrone Roberts, Rocco it is, I think. Yeah, Harrison and Rocco they're looking at. That's the problem.
Well, they've mainly come this left side of the field, Andrew, haven't they? They seem to be targeting down this Parramatta right wing.
That's the side to attack. You've got Daniel Harrison, the back rower, defending in the centres, and lacks genuine speed. And what this does, not only puts pressure on Daniel Harrison, but it puts pressure on the players around him. Inside him is Luke Kelly. He's worried about his man outside him, but also Totai, the winger, outside of him. He's worried about his man inside of him.
Here's the kick. Roberts strikes it. This time it's staying out to the right. No goal. Score remains 16-0. Knights over the Eels. And so Joseph Paulo restarts play yet again for Parramatta, trailing by 16-0. And we've just gone past the halfway mark in the first half as Boyd brings the ball back. 3 tries, 2 of them converted. And things are looking ominous at the moment. We've got a replacement on, Chris Houston for Newcastle up towards halfway.
And it's important Newcastle keep going. I mean, they've got to play a finals match next week against either the Bulldogs or the Sharks, depending on the result of the Sharks-Raiders game tonight. But they want to keep up a positive attitude right through the 80 minutes here, so they go in with good momentum. Once you're there, it's a whole new ball game.
Tyrone Roberts puts it high. It's well taken in the end by the winger Totai, who then tried to break away from the defence, but he's taken.
He's a talented young man, Vi Totai, and I understand that he's off contract and not committing until he finds out what Ricky Stewart does. With Ricky Stewart's decision on his own future, he's holding up a few players and player managers and what they're going to do.
Smart move by him and the people who look after him, I'd imagine. Keating. Tim Manor. Lovely bloke. Tim, he gets a penalty there. He does some wonderful work in the community. It gets brought to my attention quite regularly, particularly at the Children's Hospital at Westmead.
Parramatta need a try here just to keep their spirits up. They don't want to get into the habit of conceding points and kicking off all afternoon, because that's no way to finish the year. They've got to muster a fight back here, and it can only come from the main man, Jared Hayne. They've got to get him the ball, and they've got to conjure up something.
Well, that's Joseph Paulo and Junior Paulo, no relations, on in jumper number 17, and wanting to get his hands on the football here as it's carted forward by Lussick. And there's that man, Badiris again, along with the number 13, Jeremy Smith. Keating, pass back to Paulo. They're inside the 20. Keating will dash from acting half. Ball on the outside of the other Paulo. He's over the top of them, tried to get the hands free, lost it, regathered it. Okay. That's Junior. Keating will go the right. Kelly tried to get away from the tackle of Houston, but couldn't.
Well, there was nothing on there. There was no reason to come to the right.
Back it goes to Paulo. He'll kick back in behind them there, but Darius Boyd got there quickly and palmed it dead as Jared Hayne was chasing the kick by Paulo.
I can't understand that with today's playmakers, Andrew. The number of times they'll go down a short blindside when they're actually outnumbered by defenders.
Well, they're not counting numbers. They're premeditating where to go on what play. If you're looking up, counting how many defenders there. There was 4 defenders and 3 attackers there. Now, I don't know whether it was called by Luke Kelly or the decision was made from the dummy half Matt Keating, but then it got Parramatta in an awful position. They were on the sideline on the last play.
Back it goes to Junior Paulo, and Junior's met by Houston with Neville Costigan, I think, on the field. It is him in jumper number 16, Neville. And he's made his second consecutive tackle with the same player, Houston, from Lussick. I can't remember Rima Tua touching the ball. He just passed it then. He's got it again. Turns it back on the inside. put down on the tackle about 8 metres out. That'll be CO. Matua, Paulo, Kelly out the back. Jared Haynes got them going backwards. Harrison threw a pass along the ground. Off Newcastle, he's saying it was knocked down. I can hear the referees in the background, so Parramatta will get another crack at it from a scrum feed.
Well, there's Jared Haynes chiming in. It was their second set of 6 on the line and the first time he's touched the ball, but as soon as he did,
just make sure
something happened. And I think had Harrison hit this at speed, Andrew, he may have had the momentum to go over the line.
He actually passes. I think McManus gets a hand to it, although the pass was going to the ground.
Yeah, the pass didn't look good at all, but he's got Leilua wrong-footed here, and he's just panicking about getting the ball to the outside. I think he could have muscled his way over the line there had he had that intention, but...
Well, you'd be telling me as a coach, a back row playing in the centres. Now, if there's space there, your brief is just to run and challenge that gap.
Here's Hayne, Matua, and taken in a great tackle by Jared Mullen. 6 or 7 out. Ken Seo goes to acting half. Matua's up gingerly. Keating at first receiver. Inside ball back to Paulo. That's Junior. He's punched to the ground. Alex McKinnon's on as well for Newcastle. Paulo, beautiful step into a yawning gap, but Badira's tidied up again. Keating. And that was grabbed at by a player from Newcastle. Palmed on by Rennie Matua. Picked up by Seo. He's taken by Gagai. And Newcastle are accommodating them in every avenue.
Yeah, it's good aggressive defence here, coming off the line and really forcing the issue on the Parramatta playmakers. They're going backwards here, Parramatta.
Paulo again, Junior, as he was on the ground past, his arm wasn't on the ground, play on back to the other Paulo. Picked up beautifully by Jared Hayne, and intercepted now by Leilua, who's down the touchline. He's away from them. Fui chases. Fui, no, he got him. He's thrown it back on the inside to McManus, who falls on the ball and knocked it on.
Well, I think Leilua was just starting to draw away from Fui when he threw the pass. But big Fui. I said earlier, Fui ran the ball down the short side and Leilua was keen to get him. Fui didn't forget. And it's on. And Leilua had a big start here. Fui's facing south. Leilua's got the ball heading north. He's off. It's a centre versus a front rower, carrying all that hair. But Fui mows him down, and just as he's getting away, Leilua says, I've had enough, and throws the ball back in field.
I reckon he might have put his foot on the touchline as he threw the ball, by the way. But anyway, it's a wonderful chase by a front rower. And then McManus, in attempting to get the ball, knocked it on there. You can see it on the ground. The pocket referee said play on, and the other referee said no, we won't, knock on.
Well, I know a lot of front rowers in history that would have turned there and said, oh, good luck. Someone else can chase him. But Fui took after him. Good stuff.
I can think of one you played with. D. Brayman, do you think he would have been pursuing him all the way down the touchline?
No, he'd have been commentating.
Clapping. Here's the ball. Out the back, Kelly, dummy. Oh, good tackle. Robbie Rocco. Keating's wrestling with defenders, and eventually Houston comes in over the top.
Yeah, Danny Medeiros has got a rest. He's gone to the sidelines.
That pass out the back. Here's Hayne probing. Got the ball away. CO down the touchline. Support Rundra. But great tackle by Gagai. Didn't hold him. Got up, went again. He'll pass it back to Rundra. Rundra for the line. He's only 2 out, and they're grabbed by one leg. Darius Boyd there. Jared Mullen as well, and he'll play the ball. Hayne, little kick in behind him, hit the upright and straight back away for Houston. When you're having no luck, you're having no luck. Brad Fittler's on the touchline.
Bedsy's replacement, Matt Hilda, plays his 98th game for the Knights today and 198th all time.
Penalty.
Get back, mate. You're 2 metres off.
Had thrown everything at Newcastle. They had no luck when it hit the oat milk, protecting the southern upright, and came straight back to Houston, and then they get a 10-metre penalty, and they'll find touch over here on this western side. Had a conversation, Gus, with our colleague Ray Warren, who'll be watching at the moment back at home, getting ready for the semis. Some lunatic asked him to come and fix a pool pump today. If I had a broken pool pump, he'd be the last bloke rabbits to come and fix it. I mean, it'd be in pieces somewhere now around the pool. You wouldn't call him, would you?
I wouldn't call him for any reason.
That's a bit. Here they are through the centre. Well, I'll say just for a pull pump. There's a penalty, back-to-back penalties, 35 out.
Extra work in there not needed.
And this will be dangerous for the Knights, for the Parramatta side. They've only had the 3 visits down here in Newcastle, and they've come away with a try each time. They've been pretty deadly from this range.
So Jared Mullen will find touch well inside the 20, in fact up at the 10-metre line. If you were framing a market, it would be tomato sauce onto that a try this time. Leilua taps it, goes at the defence. He's going to score himself, I think. Well, we're going to have a look.
Robbo,
That's too easy.
that's the first. I have a try. Check grounding, please.
Well, the referee's standing right there if he can't tell it's been grounded. But Leilua tapped and just charges over them and scores, which is, if he does get it down, is highly embarrassing.
That's what you're seeing out
Charged
of
over
10.
three players there.
They've got him around the head. They've forgotten about the ball. The leg comes around and he gets it to the line. Now then Kelly stripped that.
Well, that saves a really embarrassing moment for those defenders, because that's under 10, under 11 stuff. Tap it and run at the kids, and you're bigger and put it over the top of them.
Kelly just gets his hand on the ball there and slides underneath it. The ball doesn't hit the ground.
No try it is, no try.
Just wait there, Matthew. 20 metres.
So the restart for Parramatta as we return, and Andrew, that would have been embarrassing, and it was only a quirk of fate that Leilua didn't score that try from a tap.
Right. I would hate to think what Ricky Stewart would have been thinking when he was watching that. That was embarrassing.
He may well have been thinking the ACT's not a bad place to live. That's what he might have been thinking. Here's Keating. Matua back to Jared Hayne. Oh, they got him by the jumper. I think it's McKinnon who grabbed hold of him. They basketballed it over the top anyway. The ball back to Paulo. Out wide it comes to the number 18, Ken Edwards. And Ken Edwards stands in the tackle and put down a metre inside the territory of Newcastle. Now Keating's gone from acting half. Oh, he had Hayne on his shoulder. Couldn't get the ball away. Fifth tackle. Paulo. Kelly's going to kick and hope it's a torpedo punt, a spiralling ball down for Darius Boyd, who took it magnificently in the end despite crashing through the number 11 Pat O'Hanlon.
Well, I gave him 1,000,000 to 1 chance of grabbing that. That was a wonderfully high kick, spiralling, coming down. He had players all around him, Darius Boyd. Again, another class play from this fullback. Brilliant stuff.
Anyway, it'll be McManus out of acting half. Already the scorer of 1 try. Leilua, Roberts, McManus, the try scorers for Newcastle. That's Houston. But Parramatta still has about 7 minutes and 50 seconds to negotiate with the break, and they've got an overlap here. Rocco's gone straight through, over the top, Leilua. He went back for it, knocked it on. And again, Kelly was the man that saved the day, because he put some pressure on Leilua. He's about to pick up that ball and spear downfield, and it's a knock on.
Yeah, right, once against that right side defence for Parramatta. And that time, there was just no numbering up. There was 3 attackers from the Knights. Parramatta had 2 defenders. Really poor defence once again on that right side.
Junior Paulo into them.
Well, they've steadied the ship a little bit here, Parramatta. At least they've stopped the scoring anyway. If they can get themselves a try before half-time, just lift their spirits a little, it won't all seem so bad.
There hasn't been a try for 13 minutes. Here's Kelly, Hayne at the defence. McKinnon, he's there in contact with Costigan.
Second push, penalty.
Now penalty will be the Parramatta. You heard the pocket referee say second push, penalty Parramatta, after Jared Hayne had lost the ball in the tackle.
Well, he created something there, Jared Hayne, but he's outside man.
What'd you call first?
Pat O'Hanlon locked himself into the
Yeah, but we see in the pocket. Yep. Just wait there, mate.
Playing with a player like Jared Hayne. Whichever gap you think you're going to hit, it's always the next one with his speed and his footwork.
Well, you'll have to forgive me. That's 25 metres in from touch. They're 40 metres out and they take a tap. I mean, are they not confident they're going to find touch?
I don't know why you're apologising. You didn't do it. They didn't.
Here's Keating, Kelly, Ken Edwards. Keating, Paulo, out the back. Rennie Matua, Jared Hayne has lost it, picked up by Scotty, good at faster man, and Gagai's away. He's chased by Rundra. He's got plenty of place. Rundra, he got him. He threw the ball back. Boyd takes it on the toe, picks it up, and scores a remarkable try. Under the black dot it is. They'll probably want to have a look, but it will be a 4-pointer for sure. They don't. It's a try. They lead 20-0.
Well, there you go. Turning defence into attack in a twinkling. Parramatta trying hard to get themselves on the board. Hayne puts it down. Scott says, I'm not quick enough, I'll give it to Gagai. Gagai says, I'm off for the prize, but here comes Randra, and on the great ball replay, grabs him by the dacks, passes it back. Beautiful work there, skill from Darius Boyd. Keeps it on the toe, puts it down over the line. On the great ball replay, the Knights go further ahead. He's got some speed, Rangi Rangdu, hasn't he? Look at him.
Rundra. Have a look at him.
You'd have to be a racing fan to understand Rangi Rangdu was a very good racehorse. And Jared Hayne, that look of absolute frustration.
In defence of Jared Hayne, the ball went behind him. Just watching the Parramatta team, if you just watch them in attack, how often the ball goes behind the ball receiver. And it might be just something, you might think it's important, but it takes time away from the ball carrier. The ball's got to be in front. You've got to get the ball in front so the ball carrier is going to the line and attacking the defence.
But that just comes from him not playing enough football this year.
The ball's going behind the ball receiver.
Here's the kick anyway from Tyrone Roberts to make it 22-0 inside the final 5 of this first half in front of a wonderful crowd at Hunter Stadium. And he'll make no mistake as he guides it between the uprights. 22-0. Brad Fittler is on the touchline.
He's having a fine half, Darius Boyd. If you remember, the first try was initiated from a classy play where he got a quick 20 tap. The second try came from a Boyd pass to BJ Leilua. And now the fourth try, a little tap on with his foot, picked it up with his hands and went all the way. And they say this side can't compete with the top 4 with a bloke like Darius Boyd this side.
Yep. And yet again, Parramatta are getting plenty of practice at this as Paulo sends the ball to the southern end of Hunter Stadium. Jared Mullen back to McKinnon, and Alex McKinnon brings the ball forward. Hilda, Uwate. Eventually Harrison took the steam off him. The tackle was completed by Keating. Costigan into Harrison. They'll go left-hand side. No, back the other way, Hilda. Back the other way, Mullen. Gagai steps, got support the inside, but eventually put down by CO. He'll play it quickly, acting half Scott. Left foot kick now downfield, looking for space, but will go over the dead ball line off Jared Mullen's left boot, and it's shadowed by Jared Hayne, who brings the ball back to the 20-metre line. So Parramatta, inside the final 3, will simply be trying to avoid another 4-pointer by completing their set of 6 and then defending a set. That's Darcy Lussick. That flat pass from one Paulo to the other. Joseph the Junior. Keating went back the other way. Paulo again. O'Hanlon. Keating. Paulo. Good tackle again. Kick and hope, Kelly. This one a little too deep probably. And Darius Boyd very good under the high ball, then takes the tackle of Rennie Matua.
Have you liked what you've seen, Andrew, a week out from the finals?
From the Knights?
Yep.
I think they'll have to improve if they're going to worry the teams in the top 8. I get the feeling once they got to 16-0, they've been in third gear. Got to beat yourself.
They've got classy outside backs. It really comes down to how well their forwards play. An interesting second half just to see how they push on here. There's a big score in front of them if they want it. they should take the opportunity.
Mullen left foot got it and grabbed at it, and it goes to Jared Hayne. He's got Rundra on his outside and CO. Comes to Scott, got it away. Rundra! He chased from behind Gagai, got it back to CO, and Gagai dropped off the first tackle and made the second. Great defence by the right centre. Jared Hayne, Rundra. 5 short of halfway. Paulo, he's got them going back. A good ball back away. Came from one Paulo to the other. Joseph to Junior, then the ball back away to Kelly, and from behind, Leilua brought him down. They'll go the same way, and from him, a standing start, it went back from Keating, picked up by Paulo to Paulo, who gave it back to Paulo, and then the ball came back away to Darcy Lussell. Fifth tackle. Kelly quickly away, Jared Hayne, pass that wide to Harrison. He tried to pass it. The ball has touched one of the Newcastle players, McManus. And
Knock here.
knock on by Parramatta.
Change over.
First knock on by Parramatta as Harrison tried to get the ball back away. Then knocked on by McManus, and that'll be half-time. So, the Knights, with 4 tries, are leading Parramatta by 22 points to 0 at half-time. And Parramatta have a Herculean task to make the score respectable in the second half.
Sunday Football, brought to you by TomWaterhouse.com online betting. With 4 generations of Waterhouse knowledge, Tom knows what punters want.
Welcome back. Sunday afternoon football on Channel 9, and a half-time scoreline that sees the home side, the Newcastle Knights, up by 22 points to 0. Statistics here don't show us a lot, other than it's been a powerhouse display by the Newcastle Knights. Tyrone Roberts did it in the 6th minute. With a little dummy show and go, and was able to muscle his way in. In the 9th minute, it was Joseph Leilua on the end of a Darius Boyd pass, outnumbered the Parramatta right-hand defence. It was 12-0 the Knights. The Knights held on for a little while, but it wasn't until Danny Badiris surged from dummy half, looped the pass out to James McManus. We got to 16-0, and then just before half-time, Jared Hayne puts one down. It's picked up by Beau Scott. He gets it on to Dane Gagai. Gagai was in the clear. Randra runs him down from behind. Gagai throws the pass, towed forward by Darius Boyd. He gets the perfect bounce, streaks away, puts it down underneath the post. 22-0 in favour of the Newcastle Knights at half-time. Brad Fittler, sideline.
What a great privilege to be up here. Sit on the sideline was Danny Badiris in his last game at Hunter Stadium. My favourite memory of Bedsy is I was playing in Origin 2, 2004, and I come off the field, we got beat. And I said, what do you reckon, Bedsy? I playing the last. He said, you're playing. I said, righto. Danny Badiris is one of those blokes, if you asked him to do anything, he'd do it. The vivid memory of him sprinting off the kick-off and ripping into Shane Webke in the first tackle of Origin is one of my great memories. But the thing about Danny Badiris that makes him so great is in round 26, they're up 22-0, and Bedsy does that every single tackle. Every minute, every second of a game, he approaches with the same commitment and dedication as he does the big ones. What a champion bloke Danny Badiris is.
So Tyrone Roberts to restart proceedings and sends that ball high and deep. Back away to Paulo, who's brought down on the tackle, Junior Paulo, and they play the ball back now. Lussick playing it. Ken Edwards with the ball. It was a strip, according to the referee. Earlier result, by the way, Panthers finished on a high note, 38-26 victors over Manly at Brookvale. That means this: qualifying final next Friday night, ANZ Stadium, Rabbitohs and Storm, live on the 9 Network at 7:30. Elimination final on Saturday, 3:30 at Allianz Stadium, the Sharks against either the Knights or the Cowboys. Then on Saturday night, same venue, Roosters against Manly. Allianz Stadium, 6:30 kick-off straight after the news. And then on Sunday, elimination final, the Bulldogs against either the Knights or the Cowboys, ANZ Stadium, and live on the 9 network at 3:30. Parramatta on the attack. Paulo with it now. Junior Paulo put down 11 metres out. All those games, the elimination games, hinging on what happens with Cronulla. Jared Hayne put down, Scott over the top. Jared Mullen, the other tackler. Kelly. Paulo. So Joseph Paulo to play the ball back 9 out. Keating again. Kelly, little kick. Went into the in-goal area, picked up by Gagai, and he'll be just about able to get back into the field of play. Gee, that's good work. There were 4 defenders there. O'Hanlon was there. So too was Rennie Matua. Ken Seo and the winger Runrundra, and he got back into the field of play.
He's a very strong player, Dane Gagai. I can remember when he was being released from the Broncos, the coach up there, Anthony Griffin, rang me and said, look, we're letting go of a young bloke. He said, but don't hesitate to sign him if you can, because I think he's a future Origin star. He said he's just got a few things to learn, discipline-wise, and he chose to come to Wayne Bennett at Newcastle, and his football's going really well.
Well, Gus, I think he'll play Origin next year. Justin Hodges has got that Achilles tendon problem. If Hodges is still out with that Achilles problem, I think Gagai will be the man to play right centre.
Well, via Totai, you heard they're outside, so it's a Parramatta losing feed despite the fact that it went inside the 20. The kick was outside the 40 from Jared Mullen across to that eastern touch line, and had via Totai going backwards. Tonight at 8:30, the true story of an Australian battle that changed the world, the Packers and the Murdochs over 2 epic Sundays. The drama event of 2013, Power Games, begins tonight on the 9 network at 8:30.
2 seconds, bind up.
Did we put the score of the earlier game up yet? Has that gone up yet?
You want it up again?
Can we put it up again?
Yeah, we'll put it up again for you, Gus.
What happened in the earlier game today?
Well, the Panthers had an emphatic victory. There it is, 38-26 over the Seagulls. You'd think the bloke in charge out there reward those young men for a stellar year, considering where they finished and how they finished.
I'll have a talk to him.
Parramatta after the scrum win. Anyway, well done to the Panthers. I don't think anyone anticipated there'd be a couple of points out of the 8 when the year started. As Parramatta going on attack, back on the inside, Brendan at 2 to Jared Hayne, broke 2 away, over the 40, he's going to kick over the top, they get through, Sio's pouring through, the ball's there for Sio, he streaks away and scores! Parramatta finally break the drought. 22-4, kick the count.
Well, I've mentioned a number of times today the class player, the fullback for Newcastle, Darius Boyd. Just sit back and look at the class of this bloke, Jared Hayne. We don't see enough of it. He's had a lot of injuries this year, but watch what he does here. Catches, gets it on the inside, step back, through, surge, looks up, sums it up, chip kick, straight out in front of Ken Seo. Great wall replay. That's one of the tries of the season right there. But that's what Jared Hayne is very much capable of. Brilliant footwork, good strength. And when he gets into the backfield, he'll surge, and then he'll look up and he takes it all in one stride and says, there you go, run onto that. Lovely, Joey, isn't it?
He's great to watch, isn't he, Jared Hayne? It was a great combination there between Rennie Matua and Jared Hayne. Love the way Rennie Matua straightened, but it was done at speed. A lot of their set plays today have been slow and predictable. That time Rennie Matua got the ball and really straightened and changed the speed of his run. But it was all that man, Jared Hayne. What a player.
Joseph Paulo to convert, so Parramatta take first blood in the second half, and there's Paulo converting it, so it is 22-6, Knights over Parramatta.
Tommy run.
So Tyrone Roberts to restart play here for Newcastle, having conceded their first try. Took Parramatta about 44 minutes to get it. As they bring the ball back from the kickoff.
Neville, give me space.
Keating on the blind side. Ken Edwards playing the ball. They get the ball out the back now, Parramatta, breaking away from tacklers. The number 15, Penny Terapo. He's on the field, obviously. Keating, then back away to Ken Edwards. And Parramatta with a skip in their step now, having scored that first try. Rennie Matua. A no-look pass away, and O'Hanlon fell into the tackle. That'll be the 5th. Matua to acting half. Back to Kelly, he's got to step back on the inside, then back to Jared Hayne. Hayne's going to run it out wide, it goes. Run down the touchline. He comes with Uwade, he flicks it out the back as he fell. Came to O'Hanlon, he's run out of space. He'll throw it over the top to Keating. He'll kick and hope. The ball's coming down on the far side, and they take it well. I think it's Jarrett Mullen defending out there. Just outside, in fact, it's McManus, my apologies, takes the ball, and the wing three-quarter brings it back, and they try to run it back from their own goal line through the centre three-quarter. And this time it's Joey Leilua.
Well, the good sign here is that Parramatta aren't going to lay down. They're going to test the Knights all the way for the 80 minutes and test whether the Knights want to go on with this. But that's good to see from Parramatta. It's a nice spirit there.
So Hilda into acting half to Costigan. Just over the top of Keating. O'Hanlon completed the tackle. It'll be the 5th. Easily considered a penalty there, Parramatta. They couldn't get off Costigan. Now it's going back, and it'll be fielded here by the winger via Totai.
See, if you're playing a team running last on the ladder, it's always been my belief that you've got to discourage them. You can't give them a sniff that maybe you're off the game. You've got to set the standard for enthusiasm, set the standard for defence, set the standard for all the nitty-gritty little things, and not just try and play pretty. And you get the feeling here that Newcastle are back on their heels and only want to play when they get the ball.
There's a young man coming on, getting interchanged in jersey 9, Joseph Walesi. I saw him last week in Holden Cup. He was devastating. Keep an eye on this young man. Runs the ball incredibly hard. He's got a real future.
Ken Edwards played it quickly. They rushed in Harrison. He palmed it away. Parramatta with Paulo, and he's put down to the tackle, Junior. They pop the pass back to Hayne. Hayne's away. Great ball to Keating. Great tackle in cover. Dragged him down Hilda. He'll play it now. Hayne to acting half, 5th tackle. Well, he's offside. He's going to play the advantage. The ball comes away to Rennie Matua. Quickly O'Hanlon, wrong man with the ball. Out the back to Rennie. He missed it and dived on by Newcastle. Well, no advantage came to Parramatta, but they don't go back far enough, of course, because they took that, and Newcastle with the ball. They were going to penalise the marker when he made that attempt to tackle Jared Hayne and played the advantage, but they won't take it back, as they sometimes do in the other code, rugby union, to give it a penalty to the non-offending team. But here's a drop ball by the winger.
Into Aku here. He flies across field. He's waiting for one of those defenders to get nervous and come out of the line. Luke Kelly does come out of the line, but forces an error. Whether he's going across field looking for the smaller defenders, but he's far more damaging when he just winds up off the back fence and just charges.
Outside the 20, Parramatta on the attack. O'Hanlon broke one tackle. Rangy back rower. 15 out from the goal line. Keating pointing at the defence. So they go the other way. The ball out the back. Kelly back away to Ken Edwards. He broke through the tackle. Go back and play it, they say, because it's about a metre behind where he was. Play on. Harrison. Kelly. Out the back. Matua. Jared Hayne at the defence, but taken by Scott. Wasn't much doing there. Keating will come blindside. The ball back away to Sia for number 2. Penalty. The pendulum swinging.
Yeah, really lazy, Newcastle. They're not enjoying this at all. They're not enjoying the fact that Parramatta are playing well and coming after them. I guess in their own minds they were hoping Parramatta would lay down, but there's no sign of that at the moment.
Keating, O'Hanlon took the tap.
See, Danny Medeiros has come to the sideline, so the coach is obviously nervous. The attitude's not right.
Parramatta, Keating from acting half. He won't get there. The marker defence was good. Kelly rushes to acting half for Parramatta. Out the back. Matua, Hayne, steps, got the ball out wide. Harrison, he'll come back on the inside, and easy meat for the defence. Tyrone Roberts there. Totai. Hayne will go back the other way. Totai with it now. Kicked it for some reason. And came straight to Tyrone Roberts. Well, a bit of an experience there. There's Danny Medeiros waiting to come back at the 51-minute mark.
Well, he's been standing there for 3 minutes. He can't get himself onto the field. Now he's finally running on. And I would say this is a statement from Wayne Bennett. He would have liked to have waited a bit longer to get him out there. But he'll be very unhappy with the attitude and body language he's seeing out there from the home side. And you can bet your life Danny Medeiros will sharpen them right up here.
Robbie Rocco playing the ball. Willie's back as well. We'll liven them up. Carting defenders up towards the halfway. Tackle 5. Mullen kicks in behind them. Now Runbra's got to run back. Takes the ball, circles around. Plenty of Newcastle. Oh, look at Denny Badeiras. Got the ball back away to Jared Hayne. He's going to come outside the 10. Back to Runbra. Good backup play, but Badeiras, the kick chase was magnificent to put pressure on the winger. One-day international, game 2, Australia-England, Old Trafford, Manchester, live, 7:30 tonight. And that's on Gem. Two are throwing dummies, not 4 and 4. He's like Scott underneath him, it is. I'll come back to the blind side, Keating. Now that's Ken Edwards, who's looked fairly likely with the ball in his hands. This time he's over on this left-hand side. He spent most of the game on that other side. They're going to kick from about 40 metres out. Darius Boyd's got it covered, took it beautifully. He's had 3 kicks like that to take and come up trumps every time. Penny Terapo was there to make a tackle. There's Willie, and he's got him offside. Junior Paulo had rushed up out of the line and was always in front. They played an advantage, none came, and Newcastle got the penalty.
Referee Luke Diamond Phillips there. He's right on the ball. They're offside Parramatta.
Let's go, Jared.
Badeiras having a talk to his teammates.
I noted that he just simply threw the ball on the ground, Danny, and when Jared came in to take the kick, and a little bit of talking from Danny about what they require here from this set of 6. Leilua. Rocco. Alex McKinnon now inside the 20. There's Willie at the defence. Rattled up in a tackle there by Paulo. Badeiras from acting half. Mullen. Oh, beautiful ball to Scott. Absolutely magnificent. And he'll score a try, and they're back on track thanks to Denny Badeiras.
Well, the beauty of this, Andrew, was the speed that they all ran. As soon as they noticed that the markers were a little bit soft, the dummy half got out quickly. That got everyone on the front foot. And they actually just beat them with speed here rather than finesse, don't they?
Yeah, Badeiras gets out of dummy half. Have a look at the passes on the Great Wall replay. They're all in front, which enables the ball carrier to get in the line and put stress on the outside defenders. Mullen gets across field here and just holds up Rennie Matua long enough for Bo Scott to pop into that hole. That's beautiful set play there from the Newcastle Knights.
That's what I like to see. Playmakers running slowly, everyone else running quickly. And that's what taunts a defence, and Badeiras really worked it out there. If he'd have just passed the ball from dummy half, I don't think the try occurs, but the fact that he got out from dummy half and put the defence in 2 minds, that drags people in, that gets the defence standing still, and then it's just catch and pass.
Well, it makes the outside defenders of Parramatta turn in. And once they start worrying about Denny Badeiras coming out of dummy half, then Jared Mullen gets the ball, and likewise the knock-on effect. The outside defenders, in that case with Rennie Matua, was worried about Jared Mullen.
So the kick will come from Tyrone Roberts, adjacent to the post. 3 from 4, as you can see so far today. 26-6. Knights lead. This will again give them that 22-point margin, having led 22-0 at half-time. It's a shot from behind those southern uprights, and it goes straight between them. So it is 28-6 Newcastle over Parramatta. So Parramatta fought back, but as Phil Gould correctly pointed out, the coach said we need Badeiras back. He came back, he steadies the ship, and they're back in front 28-6. Here he's across field again. Uarte. He's done it 5 times, it's worked once.
Well, you need to get the compass and push that compass around.
I've had wingers like this over the years that get into this habit, and what you do is you put them on the other wing, and it soon takes it out of them. They'll stop running across field because they'll straighten up and go forward. And if they can't work on the other wing, they end up on the sideline.
I wonder what was next. Is that a bit like stayers who are a bit sour and racing, you school them over the hurdles just to get their mind back on the job. Is that the sort of same caper?
Yeah, you put them in blinkers.
Here's Badiris.
I felt like Gelding was here too, I've got to tell you.
That's not allowed. As the ball went back behind Rundra, then he fell over, then he got up, then he's tackled. Well, there's plenty in semi-Rundra. Sometimes it's not good.
Rangy Rangdu heard about the gelding there, and he...
I think he was an old gelding, Rangy Rangdu. Now, here he is. Well, that was, I mean, that was absolutely an air swing. Anyway, goal line dropout. Now, just a reminder, qualifying final Friday night, 7:30 on 9. Rabbitohs and Storm, ANZ. Saturday, 2 games. Sharks against the Knights or the Cowboys, 3:30 Saturday afternoon, Allianz. Then the qualifying final, Roosters against Manly, Allianz again. And on Sunday, back to ANZ, the Bulldogs against either the Knights or the Cowboys, 3:30. 3:30, please note that time, 3:30 for 2 afternoon games on Saturday and Sunday. Oh, he's been the pants tier. Uarte, and he was more concerned about his modesty than anything else because he grabbed for his dacks as they go straight through the centre through Willie Mason. They're only 8 metres away from the goal line. Badiris back on the inside. They're held on the tackle now. Houston is only 2 out from the goal line. Roberts, short ball. Kelly was equal to the task in defence. As Rocco gets up to play it, oh, he put it on the ground, almost lost it. Back it comes, Tyrone Roberts, Jared Mullen. Dummies inside, come from the outside, Darius Boyd. Gagai's put down on the tackle now, 9 metres out. CO made the tackle, Jared Mullen with a deft little kick. It's gone over the top of the head and taken in goal. Well, Fui went high for it.
I'm ready.
And eventually Parramatta come up with a football through a optional restart. And here it is here. Well, and you see that he's very modest, Uarte. He went, and they've lost the ball straight back. Rocco goes through. He's tackled now by Keating. 9 metres out. Parramatta have surrendered possession. I'll get to that wide, but Menace will go in for number 2. And the referee will point to the spot. It all came from a mix-up from the restart on the 20-metre line, and they point to the spot. 32-6 with a kick to come, Newcastle.
Yeah, that was a poor error there from the fullback, Jared Hayne. Goes up. Shoulder under the ball by Badiris on the Great Wall replay. Tyrone Roberts plays inside to Robbie Rocco. A bit of footwork on the fullback. Goes through and then look at Tyrone Roberts here. Looks up. 3 attackers on 2 defenders. Sums it up perfectly. The cut-out pass to James McManus, and that's his second.
By the way, with that try, David Middleton's just reminded me that he's now the equal top try scorer with David Simmons from Penrith. And I think David said he hadn't scored a try for quite some time leading into this game. 6 weeks it is, David, thank you. So he scored 2 today to make it 19 for the season, James McManus, the Origin winger. And joined Dave from Penrith, has had a wonderful year out there as the leading try scorer with 19. So he might be looking for a third here, become the leading try scorer with 20.
It's 3 veterans that have turned this around here. The veteran coach who sat there in the grandstand and said, well, I'm not going to accept this. They've started the second half poorly. So he grabbed to the bench to his 2 veteran players in Danny Badiris and Willie Mason, and they've shown the young fellas the way to go with enthusiasm. I just wonder, when Badiris leaves this club, who takes up that mantle in future years for the Knights. You can't keep relying on bringing 35-year-old blokes off the bench to show you with what intensity you should be playing the game.
Well, it was a tackle from Badiris on Hayne. Shoulder underneath the ball, and he popped it out.
Here's the kick from beside the post again. Tyrone Roberts. You've got a view there again from behind those posts at the southern end with a great view of the grandstand, and he makes no mistake again. So Newcastle go away to lead by 34 points to 6, and Brad Fittler is downstairs.
Yeah, well, it's good attack by Newcastle, but you've got to say the Eels' defence. Last week we saw Fui playing in the centres. If you have a look at their right edge at the moment, you've got Luke Kelly running out there. Harrison is caught in it on the wing, and Fui's back out at 3 in. There's been 4 tries down there on that right-hand side. I reckon there might be a couple more before this goes over.
So Tyrone Roberts, he looked for someone to pass it to, and then took the tackle of Fui. So the number 19, as you heard from Andrew, Joseph Walesi is on as McManus looking for his third try to become the leading try scorer in the NRL. Leilua. And notice he's gone from BJ to Joseph and now Joey in the program. Joey Leilua. Out wide, Gagai. Chased by CO. And put down. Duarte on his outside. Good tackle kick now. Jared Haynes got it covered, but a little too deep. Tries to stand him up and takes the tackle now inside his own 20.
It was a strange kick. There was nothing on it at all. Didn't give his outside man a chance. Kicked it to the opposition's best player for no reason.
Manners back out there as well. Takes the tackle.
What's your gut feeling, Ray, with Ricky Stewart? Is he going to stay on at Parramatta, or do you think he'll go?
I think he'll go. He'll sign an extended deal with Canberra. And I think he'll announce it probably in the coming days.
Oh, no.
And that's Harrison Joey, who suffered a right knee injury by the look of it, the way he's gripping at it.
Just gets caught underneath the tackle here.
Yeah, it's his other right, it's his left. Let's have a look here. There, it's just at the last bit he rolls over and rolls back and
Oh dear, oh dear.
That hurts.
Going to cause you some grief. Anyway, 34-6 Newcastle over Parramatta. And so young Harrison has recovered, which is good news. And he's about to play the ball. He's still rather tentative on that left knee. In answer to your question, Phil, about Ricky Stewart, I wasn't aware until I found out a week or so back that he had the get-out clause in the contract as CO makes a half break and is grabbed. But he's still, it's not the total board. There are some members of the new board he's not happy about. And I think he is of the opinion that he might be better off having a fresh start. And Canberra are pursuing him. They are certainly talking about him being there, and he's got a family commitment down there, and he's got a special needs child who probably will be accommodated by family members and the like down there. So there are a whole lot of varying reasons why I think that he probably will take the offer and go to Canberra.
This way there.
He was actually very close to signing with Canberra prior to going to Parramatta. It was only a last-minute decision to stay and coach Parramatta, but he went to Parramatta under one management and one set of board of directors, and the story goes that he's been a little unhappy with how things have transpired in the last 12 months. And of course Parramatta have had a number of coaches, a number of CEOs and a number of board members over the last 4 or 5 years, and they've just got to settle that down, I guess.
Well, I did speak to him in his time with Parramatta, and I told him he'd be mad. I'm not going to say I told you so, but...
Well, who coaches Parramatta?
Oh, they'll make an offer to someone who'll cost a lot less than Ricky Stewart, I'd imagine. There'll be plenty of young blokes who want the opportunity. We're talking about Taylor, an assistant coach at the Roosters, who's been there previously in lower grades and for a short period in first grade. But I think I'll go with a young bloke. Here's a kick from Mullen. Probably going to be too big, is it? It's going to be shadowed over the dead ball line. And it was hit at by Willie Mason anyway, so it's back for an optional restart. I think that they'll go with a probably inexperienced coach in first grade terms.
It's sad because Parramatta is the jewel in the crown. I mean, the person or persons who go to Parramatta and turn this club around will be king of the world. I mean, it's such a great club, so financial and so important to the rugby league. It really is one of the glamour sides, if I can put it that way, of rugby league here in Australia. It's got a huge following. And it's no good them winning wooden spoon. It's no good for the game.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I don't know whether the people that will change their fortunes are currently at the club. But anyway, we'll see what happens. As the ball comes out to Rundre goes into Duarte and taken in the tackle. 34-6 is the score. And the bad news is still about 14 minutes to go for Parramatta. And there's typifying their season. A hurried kick, hoping to find touch, and finds the winger Duarte, who straightens up and is taken to the tackle by Ken Edwards. In fact, Penny Terapo, I'm sorry. He jumped to 15 as opposed to Edwards. Here's McManus pushing away from defenders, looking for number 3. He's into the space. He got the ball away on the outside. Leilua comes back on the inside. He pushes away again. He'll try and get it back to McManus. He's over the line as Fui crashes on top of him and scores. Well, just sheer power, and the last push from Fui Moimu was probably enough to get him over the line, 38-6.
Well, it's a terrible fifth tackle option from Parramatta. They got themselves in a bind, or a terrible kick from Kelly. Went about 10 yards along the ground. Wade straightened up, and that allowed them. There's the fifth tackle kick, and it's going nowhere on the Great Wall replay. A nothing kick straight to Wade. And on the next play, they just go through the hands. There's nothing tricky about this. Boyd to Smith to McManus, who's playing inside Leilua, and on the Great Wall replay, he pushes away from defenders, gets it on Leilua, who had plenty to do here. Plenty to do. He's got Hayne and Joseph Paulo, and then Fui over the top, but just muscles his way to the in goal. Good strength. Look at that for a fend. Left arm fend on the right hand player, and gets it away to Leilua.
That was the Greg Inglis.
Yeah, in reverse. Look at this strength, power. Just gets it over the line.
Well, he was always going to score, but Fui made it a bit easier by crashing over the top in an attempt to stop him, and then pushed him into the in-goal area when he got it down. So, BJ, call me Joey, call me Joseph Leilua. Scores, and here's the young halfback Tyrone Roberts to try and make it 40 points to 6. Strikes it. It's coming back around. It'll shave the upright and just miss. Brad Fittler's downstairs.
Yeah, just want to highlight the great man Danny Badiris. No one would have noticed his actions in his play. He chased the kick. He's right back near where Jared. He's just bent over. This is where most hookers have a rest. But he sees Jared Mullen calling for the ball. Here we go. Someone get in. I'll get there. Get out of the road and have a look at this pass. Outside. Gets Jared Mullen the front foot. Bang. There's all your room for the try right there. Danny Badiris.
Well spotted, Brad. Getting himself into position to get the dummy half and throw that pass out wide.
When you played with him, Andrew, I mean, have you played with a better number 9 in your life?
No. To me, people ask me who's the best player I'll play with. One high on the list with the guide downstairs is Badiris goes out of dummy half, talking from the sideline. But definitely the toughest player would be Danny Badiris.
Hey, David!
And every pass would be in front. It always hit you on the button. You never had to wait. It was never behind you. His attention to detail. That's what made him such a great player.
Brad Fittler.
What else made him a great player? And Joey and Danny work together so much. They challenge each other so often. Every day training, they challenge each other. Pass the ball further, pass the ball harder. I remember being a trainer with them in State of Origin and doing things where you're doing shuttle runs, and they just be pushing each other, beat him. And Danny Badiris just takes that attitude into everything he does. Everything he does is a challenge. Faster, stronger, further.
Mullen back away. Long goes back on. That's him in centre field. Keating gets off him. It's a wide pass. Tyrone Roberts out the back. It's gone straight behind the winger, McManus. He circles around for it. He'll spin it back the other way to the right. Alex McKinnon with it. He'll straighten up. Almost over Keating. Still going. Dragged down. Joseph Walesi there as well. Now from acting half. Badiris probing. Oh, the ball's been knocked on by Parramatta's Kelly, I think, who was trying to reach out to intercept it, so they'll get it back on the 10-metre line for 6 more.
Now, I think Badiris wanted his teammate to come closer there. He was trying to draw him into the hole inside that defender. And Roberts, I think it's Tyrone Roberts, stays outside. He gets in there now. He wants him outside Fui. He's saying this hole. And Roberts goes for the one beyond the next defender. Had that been Andrew Johns running onto that, he'd have been right alongside Fui's backside there and scoring under the post.
Just under 23,500, 23,392 here, loving their Sunday afternoon football at Hunter Stadium.
Leave it clear. Put it in. Out.
Mullen, Duarte, straight through them, over and try. Way too easy. 42-6, hit the come inside the final 10.
Now you see running left to right there, totally different. They just challenge the defence. That's what I mean about putting them on the other wing sometimes, so that when they run in field, they straighten up off that right foot rather than going across field on it. And you see him here, totally different. No thought of going crossfield, digging into them, surging, using his power off that right leg on the Great Wall replay, and that's a little hint.
This will look great from this angle. Well, look at the speed and the power here of Uarte. He changes his line just before the ball comes to him. And you see there, Ken Surd doesn't even get a hand on him. Just the agility for a big man, well over 100 kilos. Look at the size of the rump on him. It's so hard to tackle.
You're not casting aspersions on people that are large in the rear, are you? A view of all people.
Now look at it. That's where the power comes from. Now look at the size of it.
Chappy. Very strong around the glutes. Here's the kick now. He's bringing it back around beautifully, Tyrone Roberts, and it's a goal. Brad Fittler's on the touchline.
Gee, that was a great strike. I want to ask Joey and Gus a question. I watched last night the Cowboys take on the Tigers. Quite appalling defence at times from the Tigers. And then today, Newcastle, although they're up by 44, the defence has been exactly the same, appalling. Now, does that help or hinder you going into the semis next week?
It's a good question. A good question, Brad. What they've got to do is they've just got to take out of this game what they need from it. And when you get to the finals, you're asked to be your best in both parts of the game, attack and defence, and mentality. So if they can keep surging here to the full-time whistle, as the Cowboys did last night.
Lay Lewis away, Gus.
So what you're practicing here is not attack and defence. You're practicing mentality. You're practicing attitude. Cowboys went right to the wire last night. Newcastle have got to do it today. And that's the best preparation they got. They can't answer for Parramatta's poor defence.
So Smith played it. Back away. Inside ball back to Smith. McKinnon, he scores. The referee will point to the spot. He's checking with the touch judges. No, he's not. He wants to have a little discussion.
Robbo, tackle 5. We have a try. Just check for contact back there and see if there's a knock on him.
This is one of those ones where the marker jumps out and slaps at the arm of the dummy half, whether or not he's contacted the ball or just contacted the arm.
His first.
Jeremy Smith.
That's his first.
Trying to claim his first. Let's have a look here. He touches the ball, so this is no problem. Comes off the knee of Baderis. Picked up quickly by Alex McKinnon. Just watch it again. Baderis is up. He goes to slap at the arm, but he'll actually get the ball. There it is there. So that's gone backwards off the knee of Baderis. Picked up by McKinnon.
The footwork here from McKinnon. Bang. Big right
Given
foot
on the Smith.
step.
Now, is this his first try of the season?
Sure is.
Because he's got no one in front of him and he can't get there. He's falling over. He's come down and he gets there.
So
and then he looks up at the referee and he wants to go to the video and he's saying, gee whiz, it's hard to score a try.
Well, they're having one more look at it. I don't know why, because it appears from the other angle, from behind the Southern goal line, that the hand hit the ball, the Parramatta defender, and I think it may have been Ken Edwards.
Well, we'll have to get the video referee. Can we ask him why he's having so many looks at it? Because
let's let him make a decision first before we start interfering with his prognostications.
Baderis passes back. It is knocked down by Parra. Knock on. Picked up by Knights through to a try. The on-field decision of try is confirmed.
That's Jason Robinson's voice we can hear in this innovation we have.
Oh, look, he's kicking for goal.
Tackle there. He doesn't have to be doing it, but we're still trying to finish the tackle. They're getting into us, standing for one, stepping in the same hill. No, I disagree, mate, okay?
That makes it 48-6 now. This is a half century coming up here, if Denny can kick it. Has he kicked a goal before anywhere in his career?
I don't think he's ever had an attempt.
I've seen him kick a few times at training.
This is a very big decision. This could be a career of 1 from 1.
So, I think he's going to toe poke it.
Oh, no.
He's got a toe poke.
No, he's not. Don't put that on him. Hits it beautifully. 1 from 1. That'll be the end of his kicking career. 100%. Oh, he loves it too. Let's see, how good's that? 1 from 1. He'll be having a Saxby's ginger beer after the game based on that. He does the commercials, of course, for Saxby's based in his old hometown.
Look at that. Nice style too.
The bad news for Parramatta is there's still 5.5 to go.
Lee straightened them up, Medeiros, him and Willie Mason. There's no doubt about it. They were rocking a little bit early in the first half. Their attitude was down, and he came on and sparked them up. That's a lovely finish for him.
Well, it was 22-6 and you called it, Gus. You said the coach is reacting to the way they're behaving here. Here's a short kick from Mullen, taken out of the air by Uate, who knocked it on. Picked up by CO for Parramatta. McCoo's not happy. He thought he should have taken that cleanly. Rundra. Joseph Walesi, given his crack at first grade with Ken Edwards by coach Ricky Stewart. Paulo through the tackle that fell over. Rennie Matul, well, they've no one to pass it to if he takes the tackle of McKinnon.
Yeah, the fizz has gone out of their bottle, Parramatta, hasn't it?
Keating, Kelly, a kick and hope. Gagai got there. It came off one of his teammates' legs and he dived full stretch to take it. And McKinnon will give it back to Uate, who's streaking away. He's chased by Ken Edwards, who got him by the scruff of the neck. Price went behind them. Gagai went back for it. In a sense, there's one more left in Newcastle yet, and it might be a bit spectacular. As they get it out the back. Tyrone Roberts, back away McManus. He's put in the ground out wide, plays it quickly. Rocco got to acting half. Mullen, Neville Costigan. He'll unload the ball back away. Kalongo, McKinnon. Unless he put him down.
I remember years ago on a Sunday afternoon here when Andrew Johns was playing with those great Newcastle sides, when they had teams down, there was always an encore at the end. There was always one for the crowd before they went home. They kept going right to the 80th minute.
Straight, Darius.
We're sneaking up to the 77th at the moment. Rundra. I'll get another crack at them, and he's picked up and held on the tackle. Arias Boys defending up in the line. Neville Costigan. Manna. Keating. That pass looked questionable. Keating again. Rennie Mature inside ball. Ken Edwards straight through. Over the 40. Comes to the fullback. Great tackle, Arias Boys. He's looked a likely customer, this young fella. Kelly, they're going to run it. Rundra, that's a shocking pass, and Rundra made it look even worse as the ball came back to Uate. He's taken on the tackle. Yeah. It's a changeover, so they'll bring it back with zero tackle to play it just in front of where the tackle was performed on the Uate.
He's blowing time off here for an injured player who's in the way. Parramatta player's down injured.
I think is it that big Ken Edwards who made the run?
Edwards, yeah. He's a star in the Holden Cup there, Gus. The last couple of years.
He's a big thing. There's plenty of him. I think he accidentally gets a poke in the eye here. Let's have a look. No, it doesn't look like it.
Anyway, he's up and he's recovering. But he
stay straight.
hasn't lost an admirer as a young fella today.
And really
Just over 2 minutes to go. Knights searching for one more.
By the way, we're at a record-winning margin by the Knights over the Eels at 44 points. A record win. Tyrone Roberts straight through, over halfway, looking for support. Got the ball back away. Jared Mullen is chased from behind. They won't get to him. He scored a great try. And there's the encore we were waiting for. 54-6, the Knights over the Eels.
The Newcastle Knights, they never ever let you down.
While they celebrate that, Tyrone Roberts might be in trouble in back play. Let me have a
show
look
and
at what
go
happened.
once again. He passes. I hope it's only cramp for Tyrone Roberts. Looks like it's only cramped at the left calf muscle. Show and go there. Fui turns out, goes straight through, and finds his 5'8". Doesn't he finish it off, Jared Mullen?
A good try. And there he is, KFC. So good, man of the match, fittingly. In game number 254, Danny Badiris, who will retire with a goal-kicking record at 100%, 1 from 1.
He's okay, Tyrone Roberts. He must have been a bit of cramp. There was a bit of concern for him, but Gagai looks like he's a left footer. Which way is he going? He goes out this way. He's going to be a left footer. 5 tries, no goals this season.
I like the moustache.
Good, but it's finished.
Got the yellow boots on.
Struck it all over out to the side, and that will be a conclusion because the siren has sounded, and the Knights advance into the top 7 now, already in the top 8, and that victory by 54-6 put them in 7th position. Now we've got a wonderful feast of rugby league coming up. Friday night, Rabbitohs Storm at ANZ Stadium, 7:30. The qualifying final Saturday, Sharks against the Knights or the Cowboys, Allianz Stadium, 3:30. Then the qualifying final, Roosters and Manly. That's at Allianz Stadium, 6:30 next Saturday evening. And then on Sunday, the Bulldogs in the second of the elimination finals. And it's the Bulldogs taking either the Knights or the Cowboys on. And that's at ANZ Stadium. That's at 3:30. So the 2 afternoon games, Saturday and Sunday, are at 3:30. It's been a wonderful afternoon of rugby league. Hope you've enjoyed it. Coming up next, 9 News.